Okay, we have Rockford on the left with Painter.
Good.
And Dave Kaplan on the right with Dimir. Basic Forest to start the game for Rockford. Thoughtseize. Let's take a look at the hand. Pyroblast, Red Blast, Phyrexian Dragon Engine, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and 2 copies of City of Traders.
Let's take. Let's take the Fable.
Okay, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is selected. Poing is ready for Frog Mirrors. Gizlo says, what a rough day this has been. Thank God for 90s MTG and Chris. Thank you, Gizlo.
Goblin Engineer.
Goblin Engineer, floating a mana.
One floating. Yes.
Kaplan think about responding to Goblin Engineer. Phyrexian Dragon Engine is hand, so don't have to worry about that going into the graveyard, but there are some nasty things that could happen. Okay, Force Pitching Brainstorm, Goblin Engineer is countered. That makes a lot of sense. Power Blast, Red Blast stuck in hand. Otherwise, I'm sure Rockford would have been happy to counter that Force of Will.
Float 2. Engine, floating 1.
Okay, casting the Dragon Engine, floating 1, has red mana available now to cast Red Blast or Power Blast. Orcish Bowmaster gets flashed in. Okay. Getting the Orc Army on the table. Now a Ponder resolves. Actually, it doesn't resolve. It gets Red Blasted. Okay.
Tap.
Phyrexian Dragon Engine gets in for a 2-power double strike attack. Here's Painter's Servant. Most likely we'll name blue. Opportunity there to Pyroblast the Underground Sea. Sometimes you'll see that play. Brainstorm getting Pyroblasted, okay. A true blue spell gets countered by Pyroblast. Rockford just firing these off, hitting cantrips, knowing that the Red Blast and Pyroblast will literally face up on the table. I think that makes sense. Get use out of them, because Kaplan will clearly play around them. Phyrexian Dragon Engine continues to swing away, though. It's quite a clock. Looks like Rockford now has 1 card in hand. We don't know what it is. There's the Frog, Psychic Frog. Okay, a 3rd Pyro / Red Blast. Psychic Frog is countered.
Attack.
Okay, 4 damage comes in once again with the Phyrexian Dragon Engine.
Engineer, 1 floating.
Goblin Engineer, 1 floating. Gizlo says, just a thought, when was the last time we saw an actual Delver of Secrets? On this stream? That's a good question. But recently, within the last couple of weeks, within the last 2 weeks maybe even. Grindstone into the graveyard with the Engineer. The Engineer or Painter will need to be dealt with. Undercity Sewer, Surveil. Rockford threatening to combo next turn. Potentially.
You know cards, right?
No.
Top trigger.
We'll leave that there.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, Nile Spellbomb is a way to interact with Goblin Engineer. Goblin Engineer will likely try to get this Grindstone on the table, but Nile Spellbomb disrupts that pretty nicely. Here's Psychic Frog.
Oh, yeah. Well, you tell me. Honestly, this is the graveyard. I'll tell them now. Yeah, serves the graveyard, but the graveyard stays still. Oh, sorry. That was this was the...
What could Rockford do about this Spellbomb?
Yeah, like... Oh, yeah, I know.
So this costs 3. You did it.
Attacking with the Dragon Engine again. No reason not to. It's done so much damage already. And this is a lethal attack, so it will have to be blocked. Unlikely we'll see the Engineer activated until now Spellbomb can be accounted for.
Okay.
Orc Army down. Chump blocks the Dragon Engine.
This targeted Grindstone.
Okay, sacking the Painter, targeting Grindstone. Okay, maybe I was wrong about Rockford holding off with the Engineer. Graveyard gets exiled, including the Painter. Engineer's ability doesn't do anything. And another Painter from hand. Okay. Yeah, it's possible that Rockford should have been swinging with the Painter. That did cross my mind. I don't remember if Mana was open for Kaplan, though. A second Bowmaster is scary.
Okay.
Frog is jumping here. Okay, Frog gets through for 1. Kaplan will draw a card. And another Frog. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to sacrifice this and cycle this.
Not sure who has priority at the moment. Okay, passing back to Rockford then. Draws a card. Billosaurus, thank you for the sub with Prime. At this point, Delver of Secrets is a cool and unique brew, says Bill. That's a take right there.
Dark. I drew the dark. I had to do was I was like, all right, I got enough mana. I was going to have to survive a turn of attacks.
Okay, attacking with both Phyrexian Dragon Engine and the Painter this time. Psychic Frog thinking about blocks. 2 cards in hand for Kaplan, so could grow, potentially. Grow the Psychic Frog to 3 power. At least it looks like 2 cards in hand.
Okay. Dimir.
Discards the Dothy Voidwalker and a Verdant Catacombs. The Painter will die in combat. Bowmaster will also die in combat. Well, the situation we find ourselves in now, Rockford still is swinging away with the Dragon Engine. Kaplan has some catching up to do as far as damage. And Goblin Engineer has a creature to sack, an artifact to sack, and an artifact in the graveyard. But maybe over the course of next 2 turns can draw some cards with the Dragon Engine. I'm not sure. It'll be risky for Kaplan to attack with both frogs, potentially. Karn the Great Creator. Okay. Okay. It's going to resolve. Kaplan is hellbent. Tick down. Grindstone.
Yep. Go ahead.
So Grindstone in hand now for Rockford. Found it with Karn using its minus ability. You can search cards that are exiled or your sideboard. Risky attack here for Kaplan and may just have to attack Karn. Just 4 life. There is a Goblin Engineer that could block. Kaplan seeing that now. Would Rockford block? Okay, giving the frog flying, it looks like. Karn down. I don't know if Rockford cares. Kaplan will draw a card and then pass the turn.
I only know one. Yeah, last game you took a damage, this game I took a damage.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so when your fanatic comes in, you have to put the counter on the creature. The lifelink counter. Lifelink counter. Yeah. If you play like in a competitive event, you miss that. Like you can't miss that. I just want to tell you that.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just thinking about that.
Good habit to just.
Frog is currently a 2/3. Phyrexian Dragon Engine is a 2/2 with double strike. Okay, Dragon Engine dies. Frog dies. Red Blast the other frog. Okay.
Yep.
Well, Kaplan had a daze for the Grindstone. Returned Undercity Sewer to hand, so Kaplan will be able to surveil. No artifacts in play now for Rockford, but has an Engineer. A little awkward. Lotus Petal, that's an artifact. Get back to Dragon Engine. Draw 3. Not bad. Not bad. Both frogs were defeated. Soul Guide Lantern, okay.
Frog. Yes.
Looking pretty good for Rockford right now here in game 1.
Okay.
Okay, another frog. Soul Guy Lantern gets sacked to draw a card. It can always be brought back with the Engineer. 3 cards in hand for Rockford. Looks like one of them is Fury, hard casting it. Frog dies. Phyrexian Dragon Engine swings for the kill. Game 1 goes to Painter.
Something or other, and I just comes with experience, I guess.
Well played by Rockford there. Rockford up a game. Okay, just dropping a fetch land, a Misty Rainforest, and passing the turn on turn 1 here of game 2. Kaplan was on the play. Great Furnace, Vexing Bauble, okay. Vexing Bauble, of course, shuts off Daze and Force of Will, at least being cast for their alternate cost. Also Grief, right?
It's like, not bad.
Okay, Undercity Sewer, Serval.
No, I know what's our yeah, actually. I think it's the 4
So it's like surgical, right?
Yeah.
Super? Super.
Keep that. Okay.
Okay, Undercity Sewer left the card on top with Serval. Interesting. Nile Spellbomb. Not bad. And a Wasteland on the Great Furnace. So sometimes you'll see people hold on to these Wastelands to respect Urza's Saga, but Kaplan goes right after the Great Furnace. City of Traders. A little awkward.
Yuck, hate it. Go ahead.
Not a very productive second turn for Rockford. Maybe a great play to hit that Great Furnace. Hard to say, but appears so. Scalding Tarn gets correct.
Yeah. Good.
Basic Island, okay. Psychic Frog. It's back on the table. Simian Spirit Guy gets exiled for Power Blast. All right, it's countered then. It turns out.
And stuff. Pop. Yep.
Okay, second Vexing Bauble. Don't feel like we need that anymore. So defenses come down a little bit. Force of Will Daze back online. What does Rockford have here? Okay, Lotus Petal was stuck in hand, maybe.
Go.
One card in it? Troopers.
Another Wasteland. Waste the City of Traders. Rockford with not much mana available now. No plays. All right, Spellbomb gets cracked here. Exile in the graveyard to draw a card. Kaplan feeling like we don't need that Spellbomb right now. Not good for Rockford.
On the lane. Activate the ability.
Go ahead.
No, no, spell. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Rockford with a full grip, nothing to do. Looks like there's a Fury in hand. Red Blast in hand. Psychic Frog resolves. Fury pitching Goblin Welder. Going to try to kill this Psychic Frog. All 4 damage being assigned to the frog.
13.
Ooh, it looks like Kaplan might empty out the hand to save the frog here, but Rockford has a Red Blast. This might backfire. It might.
Go ahead.
Oh, man, a daze on the Red Blast, sacrificing the last permanent on the board. Psychic Frog lives, has 4 power. Gets through. Kaplan draws a card. Undercity Sewers was also put back in hand.
Okay.
Okay, that's Tamio, Inquisitive Student.
I'll play this. Yep.
Okay, left on top. Okay, Rockford found a land. This isn't over yet. Power Blast the frog. Frog down. It's a big first step. Seeing this Painter deck on stream for the last couple of weeks, I mean, we've seen Rockford play it a bit, some other players as well. The multiple Pyroblast, Red Blast effects in the main deck is so good right now. Normally, they run those cards and they make everything blue with Painter, and then they blow up your lands or they blow up your ensnaring bridges and whatever. Whatever you have. But being able to kill Frog, kill Tamio. We saw cantrips get countered in game 1, and Rockford took game 1. Really good right now. Okay, Tamio flips into the Inquisitive Scholar. Pluses. No attackers for Rockford at the moment. Goblin Welder. Okay. Something.
No, you had Yavamaya in play. I'm an idiot. No, whatever. It doesn't matter. It did make matter because of Yavamaya, which I knew, but I forgot. Whatever. You know what? In my soul, I knew I lost. So
-1 to get back.
Okay, Tamio will get back a Fatal Push out of the graveyard. It'll then be fired off to kill the Goblin Welder. That makes sense. And here is Psychic Frog once again.
And you played the Yavamaya. I'm like, okay, so the Colonel's gets that for max. But then I forgot, and then I remembered after I lost. This game is hard. This game is hard.
Okay, Power Blast on the Frog. Frog down.
For you, it's easy.
No, it's not. This deck didn't know this deck. Or is that?
Oh. Alright, what is it?
Okay.
And another frog. Retro frame frog too. Is that bling?
No. It's a lot better with Frog. It's just like half Doomsday, mostly Dimir.
Fury getting cast here. Bill says I'm bringing Rug Delver back next Monday. The goose will be loose. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Go.
Okay, consigned to memory. Save the frog. Tamio ticks up to 5. Psychic Frog gets in for an attack. Kaplan will draw a card. Looking pretty good here in game 2 for Kaplan. Now Spellbomb now.
Yeah, first game.
Yeah, you're allowed on some.
Okay, someone coughed in the background. We're going to keep an eye on it.
11 damage.
This on top now.
Goblin Engineer. There's a now Spellbomb on the board. So its ability is a little bit less scary for Kaplan right now. What are we going to put in the graveyard? Is it Dragon Engine? Vexing Bauble. Okay. Makes sense to just throw something in there we don't really need. All right, then a fatal push on the engineer.
Plus.
Tamio ticks up to 7. Psychic Frog gets in for another attack. Psychic Frog generating a lot of card advantage here. Here's a Brainstorm. Okay, 2 cards go back on top. Okay, Grindstone hits. Not a lot to do with it at the moment.
Activate timer. Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, Ultimate of Tamio gets a concession. Moving on to game 2. Game 3, actually.
I'm like keeping like good hands. Yeah. But when you play a deck without force rule, you have to have a plus to turn 1. Yeah. So I started like mulliganing to like 5, sometimes even 4 more often. And it actually improved my win rate.
So like,
See it. I've won mulls to 4 with this deck before, but it's a lot harder for sure.
All right, starting off game 3 will be Rockford. Let's see if we're keeping the hand. Ooh, looks like a mull to 4 for Rockford. Okay, so only 4 cards in hand. Basic Mountain past the turn. This is going to be tough. Painter does have a combo that it can get down pretty early and finish the game. How good was this 4-card hand? We'll see.
You have no cards?
I actually don't think I played. There was like 2 turns that aren't going to be
Yep.
Okay, no second turn play for Rockford. A bad sign, I guess. Blue Delta gets cracked.
I was just like, I played from that. No, I know, that's what I mean.
Okay, Owner City Sewer Surveil. Can Rockford win after a mull to 4 and then no turn 2 play? I guess we're going to find out. Okay, Ponder for Kaplan. Okay, someone else coughed. We're going to have them thrown out. Okay, found an ancient tomb.
Engineer.
Goblin Engineer floating a mana.
Yep. Trigger.
Phyrexian Dragon Engine into the graveyard. Okay. That could be a way to... Alright, well. Fatal Push takes out the Engineer. Dragon Engine could be a way to refill the hand later and get back in this game. Ancient Tomb gets knocked out by Wasteland, though.
Dragon F5.
Thoughtseize reveals the hand. Pyroblast, Red Blast, Fury. I assume we're going to take Fury here? All right, taking a Pyroblast, actually.
Or is that your... It's 17? Yeah. 17-3.
Okay, and a now spell bomb, not too bad.
Crazy. Come on, Dimir.
5 speed says the app we're seeing looks like Lotus, very similar to Carbon. I don't know. I don't know.
I would keep Davis play or draw. Yeah,
Grindstone on the table, holding just Fury and Red Blast in hand. Now spell bomb gets cracked. Kaplan will draw a card. Phyrexian Dragon Engine gets exiled.
Oh, this is straight in my hand that whole game.
No. Wait, I knew it.
Come again.
Okay, that is the Ghost Vacuum. Not a lot to do with it at the moment. Upkeep fetching.
Or you take out like I keep it like 1 and 2 and 1 attack. Yeah, John's sickle for that. I just because sometimes you just draw the
I was gonna say you guys should have 5.
Oh, let's keep playing.
Okay, now spell bomb is in. Plenty of graveyard hate. Okay, now spell bomb gets cracked to draw a card. Verdant Catacombs, pass the turn.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Those Kozilek's commands.
For this mid-range crap.
When I roll the second one,
Yeah.
I say, okay, I can get out.
Yeah.
Which that's also why you think that he's useful.
Not much going on with Ghost Vacuum yet. Rockford's graveyard is empty.
Like Days is insane in your opponent.
Draw a card from Kozilek's command? Or you made small? Oh.
Lonely Grindstone and Basic Mountain just kind of stuck. Dauthi Voidwalker, okay. More graveyard hate. This one is a clock, though.
I didn't even notice.
Fury pitching Red Blast. Well, if this Fury gets countered, it will get exiled with a Void counter on it, which is nice for Kaplan. Hydroblast on the stack. Okay, Fury is exiled with a Void counter on it.
Nobody's bad in like they just kept asking
Not much to do with the Ghost Vacuum now. The Voidwalker is going to start attacking, I guess.
These do not agree.
That's why I would have done
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
Dr. Pepper's dropping some bagels on us.
I know. Yeah, that's what I was like. And using there was something because I'm like, wait, I just like look back. I'm like, I draw. I'm like, wait, yeah. I had no way to get rid of it. That was a wide really good trade. One, we wanted extra cards for
Okay, another Grindstone, then passing the turn. Not very exciting.
I didn't see him draw a card, but I guess that happened. You saw it? If you ever asked me if he ever drew a card with Kozilek's man, I would have said no. I didn't.
Okay, another Psychic Frog makes its way onto the board. Rockford needs to start... All right, found a land. Rockford needs to start doing stuff. Okay, Fury pitching Red Blast. 2 and 2. Try and kill both. Kaplan, of course, discards a card, and Frog lives. The Voidwalker dies. I think that Fury would actually go to exile, right?
Go ahead.
Okay, then a Power Blast on the Frog. Okay, so threats. Okay. Threat's gone. Ghost Vacuum removes a Fury that was in the graveyard. Yeah. Here's Goblin Walder. No artifacts in the graveyard right now.
So, me and Johnny,
Yeah, I think you're right, Atomico. The Fury went to the right place. Now that I think about it, I might have been mistaken there. Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, just continuing just to drop graveyard hate on the board. Goblin Walder probably isn't going to be doing a whole lot of interesting things. Grafdigger's Cage and Ghost Vacuum. 2 copies of Grindstone on the table. Kaplan has no threats right now.
Go.
Tamio, Inquisitive Student, will resolve. There's a Hydroblast in the graveyard, which is something that Tamio could get back later.
That's with Spellbound.
Okay, gonna swap Spellbomb and Grafdigger's Cage right now with Goblin Walder.
It's just like yeah, they get shit from control.
It's a Soul Guy Lantern.
Yeah, also there's just some unaged
Got 1 mana.
Okay, exiles Fatal Push with the Soul Guy Lantern. Tamio will attack, make a clue. The clue could be swapped with a artifact in the graveyard if Kaplan taps out. Okay, well, just sack the clue, so that doesn't matter.
I had 2 knights. If you didn't have a flute.
Kaplan also has a lot of mana. He wasn't going to tap out, let's be honest. All right, now Spellbomb, draw a card. And Tamio will flip into a Planeswalker. Inquisitive Scholar now.
Yeah, absolutely. You have Tabernacle? Okay. Tabernacle's good against me too.
Thinking about activating Goblin Welder here to swap Ghost Vacuum with something in the grave.
Get Italian.
Swap your cage.
And I'm like,
Then I'll sack and draw.
yeah, like sure.
Or buy a crappy card.
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm convinced that
Fatal Push on the Welder. I thought Rockford said to bring back Grafdigger's Cage, but I guess it's now Spellbomb on the board.
matchup.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay. Ninja God King says kids these days don't know what checklist cards are. Yeah, they have no idea.
That was supposed to be a Grafdigger's Cage. Because I welded your... It goes back in with the cage. Yeah, not the Spellbound. Yeah.
Okay, so that's been corrected. It was supposed to be a Grafdigger's Cage on the board, so I'm with Rockford on that. I heard Rockford pretty clearly say Cage, I thought. And I just heard time in the round called. We're in game 3. I don't see a definite win for either side right now. For a mull to 4 here in game 3, Rockford has put up enough of a fight to stay alive in turn 1 of extra turns, which we're about to enter. Can Kaplan win in 3 turns? It's probably more likely that Rockford can win in 3 turns if Rockford can assemble the combo. Wiki wondering why did he draw 2. I'm not sure who drew 2 and when and why. I don't know. Yeah, Dave would need to play a huge Murktide, says Pew Pew. Exactly. That's probably the only way. Okay, Wasteland on the City. That'll make Painter Servant Grindstone combo a little bit more difficult.
Sure.
Okay, Kaplan wondering, did I play a land this turn? Players seem to be in agreement that the answer is no. Okay, here's the Psychic Frog. Not too big of a threat here in extra turns. I mean, obviously you don't want your match to end in a draw, but after a mull to 4, I guess Rockford is like, well, at least I didn't lose the match and got a draw. Draw kind of feels like a victory after a mull to 4. Obviously, though, if you're Rockford, you want to combo off here. Ideally. There are 2 copies of Grindstone, which is interesting. I don't think Kaplan's going to, cast any shatters or anything in this game. But there could be removal for Painter. Fable of the Mirror Breaker has ticked up to Chapter 2. Looks like Rockford's thinking about discarding some stuff.
Discard 1 trawler. Yep.
Okay, discarding Magus. A Tameo Ultimate isn't a win, though, right? I guess you could discard all the cards to the frog. This is turn 2. I guess that could happen.
Swing at Tameo.
Okay, swinging at Tameo with the Goblin Shaman, making a treasure. Okay, the trigger of the Tameo becomes a 1/2. Psychic Frog will block it. Not sure why it died. Okay, it's back.
Oh, it's there. Yeah.
Okay, now it dies.
But there is
Three mana. I think Kaplan, Rockford's only hope is to combo here. Needs to beat Tameo or the Frog. Likely. Goblin Engineer. I don't think there are any super relevant artifacts in the graveyard right now. Are there any artifacts in the graveyard? Doesn't look like it, unless there's something I'm forgetting. Goblin Engineer could put something like Chaos Defiler or Dragon Engine into the graveyard. Or Painter.
So Soul Guy Lanterns, they're not just itself. Yeah.
Oh, there's a Soul Guy Lantern in the graveyard. Okay.
Yeah.
There is a Grafdigger's Cage in play. That's true. Ah, yeah, that changes things. Okay, so it would have to be a... Oh, Pithing Needle's not bad here. Pithing Needle could be a good choice. I forgot about the cage. All right, Pithing Needle into the graveyard. Could potentially name Psychic Frog. Does Kaplan have a removal for the Engineer?
Better than me, but also decks like maybe Smith, or even just.
All right, moving on to turn 3 of extra turns now.
It looks really bad. Yeah, I like it too. It's nice backup.
Tamio can tick up. And on the following turn, ultimate, potentially. Reflections of Kikijiki will be summoning sick, unfortunately, on Rockford's final turn. Okay, Tamio ticks up. 8 loyalty. Basically can't be attacked. Tamio, that is.
Yeah.
Rockford needs to either beat Tamio or successfully shut off the frog with Pithing Needle.
No, I'm playing.
As things stand right now, looks like we're moving towards a draw. Psychic Frog gaining flying. 1 card in Rockford's hand. Okay, attacking with the frog.
Just 2? Yeah.
Found Fatal Push for the Gauntlet Engineer, and that might have been a game-winning Fatal Push, but we'll have to see. Soul Land Painter on Rockford's turn, if it resolves, could be pretty good. There's Kaido, Bane of Nightmares, or whatever.
I will use its 0 ability. Surveil 2, then draw a card.
Yep.
Surveil. Surveil 2, then draw a card if an opponent lost turn. Bill says, can you name every Kaito ever printed? I can. I know them all. They're all memorized.
It goes to your yard.
Oh.
Or, no, the one you just put it on the bottom. That's a. I mean, you're not gonna get to that card again anyway. So.
All right. Should
No, don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay, fine. Shuffle. Sure. Yeah.
All right, so a little bit of an error with surveilling there. It was supposed to be a surveil, but it was played as a scry. It's all good. Moving on to turn 4. Kaplan threatening with this Tamio Ultimate plus Psychic Frog. Reflections of Kikijiki becomes a creature. Ooh, Ensnaring Bridge.
Did you have it in your hand last turn? Okay. Good game.
Consigned to memory counters it, and that is the match. Kaplan gets it.